Good morning, guys. Here is the farmer on fire, Wangari Kuria. Welcome to my farm. Thank you for clicking to watch this exciting video about farming. Today we are going to talk about how to do spinach farming. And I know our moms have done it and we automatically think that we know it, but there could be one or two things that could help you to make sure that you're not struggling in your spinach farm. Spinach is eaten in Kenya in almost every meal. Whether it's rice, there is spinach on the side. Whether it's ugali, spinach is a must. Whether it's, name it, githeri, there is some spinach on the side. It's the ultimate green in our diet. And today, given the demand of you guys in my inbox, we are going to do spinach farming. Welcome. When starting any farming project, you need to do a lot of research. And this is one thing about spinach farming. In the West, what we call spinach is called Swiss chard. And what they call spinach here is called as baby spinach. So there is that difference that you need to note. Because when you Google spinach, it will bring you different things. So when you're Googling, Google Swiss chard. This is what is locally known as spinach. So that's one of the ways. Number two, when selecting your seed, select from companies that are known. These new companies that have come into the market have a reliably low germination rate. And you can imagine you put your seeds for a month waiting and then only half of them come out. You can get pretty disappointed. So ensure that you're getting a seed from a reliable company. The older companies, the better, and I find in my experience that they have not disappointed me as much as the new companies. The other thing about spinach is that the seeds is usually big. So I go for this one. It's called Giant Hook Ford. Giant Hook, Ford Hook Giant. This is my favorite one because it can be able to give me very big leaves. This is how the seeds look like. As you can see, you can be able to plant one. If you compare it to the skuma seeds, they're quite small. They look like chia seeds. So those ones, they are very hard to say that you will not transplant from a nursery bed to your farm. But this one you can plant directly. Because we are trying to also reduce the transplanting loss when you're moving the plant from the nursery to where you want it to grow. But this one you can just plant it directly. And today we are going to plant it into a container and in the nursery so that we have both scenarios. Guys, it's time to plant the seeds. So ensure that your ground is nice and soft and the soil is nice and porous for the young roots to travel through and also to allow air into the soil. Then we are going to take a stick like this one, and remember it's 40% manure and 60% soil. Spinach are heavy feeders. Give them manure in the beginning and you're sorted on fertilizer. So this is a good mixture. As you can see, there is a lot of manure visible, as you can see. And then you take your stick and you make shallow rows. Don't make them too deep because the seeds can travel up too far. So you can emphasize with your finger like that, and then you take your seeds. Don't take too many at a go, and then you can pour them. So after you plant, you cover lightly with your hand to make sure that the seeds are not exposed to the sunshine and to the water, so that when you water, they don't move away. So you just cover lightly. And then you get your water. Ensure you have a shower head. If you don't, you can use those tins that we used to use long time ago. Punch some holes with some nails, and then you have your watering can. If you also have like a hose pipe, you can cover the ground with a sack or something to make sure that you're not pushing the seeds out of the way. So water generously and do this every day until they come out. So it's around 6 weeks. It's transplanting day. We are moving our spinach from the crowded nursery to where they'll be growing individually. So we are going to up. Just bend them like this. Always start with the big one. And then now with your stick, make a hole and cover only the pink part. Remember not to cover the heart of the spinach because it will dry up. Make sure it's well taken care of. This stick of mine is my measuring stick. It is 1 foot long, so give it appropriate spacing of 1 foot long. Always water your crops. So I hope you've understood the basics of spinach planting, and everyone can do it. Even you who is in a balcony apartment, even you with a tiny space, you can still do it by getting a vertical garden. Utilization of space and being actively involved in where food comes from is the conversation right now. Don't be left behind. Young people are changing the world by thinking differently, by having food in cities, by encouraging the rural people to make use of their lands, by making sure that there is enough food for everyone in Africa. When planting your spinach, ensure that they're in an area that is shaded, but not too shaded. Spinach are an outdoor plant, so they need a lot of sunshine. On the other hand, if they have too much sun, they will kind of look bored and dry during the day, but will come back to life in the evening. So don't worry too much on the days when there is so much sun. Another problem that can come in spinach is cutworms. They cut them just right as they are coming out. And you know how important that new leaf is. It means that the seed was only able to make those 2-3 leaves so that they can start making food on your own. So, one thing to note about spinach farming is that once they are at least a foot tall, don't remove them from the nursery when they are too small. Even if they are post 1 week, you can still wait until they are long enough. Like this one, which has around 5 to 6 leaves, is strong enough to survive when you transplant it. The small ones, sometimes they die. So if it's not between the 2 sizes, don't remove it from the nursery. And then when you're transplanting it, ensure that you plant it without suffocating the heart. So you just plant the root. This is the heart of the spinach. If this leaf is covered in the soil, it will eventually dry. So this is not the case with sukuma wiki and other plants, but with spinach, ensure that you put the soil up to this level. So let me do it for you for demonstration. And it's hard for it to stand, but at least you get the idea so that they are not drying. So it might even fall off, and it's okay because you're trying to protect the heart of the spinach, this new shoot. If it's covered, it will suffocate and it will not grow. Yes, now it's good. Ensure that you have done the correct spacing because spinach should be farmed 1 foot apart. So don't squeeze them too much so that they have enough nutrients they're getting from the soil and they have enough aeration and space between one plant to another. When harvesting spinach, make sure that you're leaving part of it into the plant. Don't remove everything like sukuma wiki. Ensure that you're not cutting the entire stem and you're leaving part of it there.
Ensure
that you're leaving part of it there. This is not the case with sukuma wiki. Yes, it might take time for this one to rot and fall off and it's still consuming food, but it makes sure that there is no infection coming directly to the stem of the spinach. So yeah, once you have harvested your spinach, it is good to keep them under a shade. Do not leave them in the hot sun, because they will start looking dehydrated and start drying, which is not good. We want to eliminate post-harvest losses. So immediately after you harvested, put them in a shade. If you have too much, you can blanch them, which I'm going to show you today, and you can enjoy your smoothies. For me, my favorite is putting them in my smoothies and also as a side vegetable in my every dish. You can believe me that spinach accompanies everything. I also plant spinach for mama mbogas. We have a lot of demand of mama mbogas, who are the guys who sit by the roadside to offer the people nearby some cut vegetables, tomatoes and onions. So for us, those are our ideal clients, our neighbors, and of course ourselves. We practice organic spinach farming, which includes organic pesticide and organic fertilization. We use compost from our compost pit to make sure that they have all the nutrients they need, and man, do they taste so good. We also use our organic pesticide that we prepare ourselves and spray it on the crop. We intercrop it with things like onion and marigold to ensure that that pungent smell and even dania is keeping away the pests. On issues of blight, we spray water and milk, half a liter diluted to 1 liter of water, and then we spray on it to make sure that baridi is not affecting it. We also use ash for instances where the spinach is looking whitish. That one is called powdery mildew, which mostly affects spinach. So make sure that you pour ash on it and it will be sorted. So thank you guys. This has been a great video. Let me know what challenges you're struggling with. You can join us on all our platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even LinkedIn. The name is Farmer on Fire. Find us there. Ask us anything that you might want, and we'll be able to respond as quick as possible. Remember, always ask yourself, what is my contribution to the food conversation? Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.